It is the first week of Trump, and we find in the Trump tweets, he says this morning on his Twitter account, busy week planned with a heavy focus on jobs and national security. Top executives coming in at 9 in the morning to talk manufacturing in America. I personally like the Trump tweets just because there's so much different points of view. I'd like to just go right to the source and see what he's got to say. A lot of people are just aghast that the new president is using Twitter. For example, George Will, the syndicated columnist, he was just shocked, that, it's just so undignified. But Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he embraced the new technology in his time, the radio, when he gave his fireside chats. And they don't give FDR a hard time about it. But Trump does the same thing. He embraces the new technology and is giving the Twitter a chance. And some people are just aghast that, this is undignified. So contrast those two. FDR embraces the new technology, giving fireside chats, and that's good. Trump does the same thing, embraces the new technology, and suddenly it's bad. So I say that's a double standard. Something else Trump tweeted about a day ago regarding the Women's March on Washington. Peaceful protests are a hallmark of our democracy. Even if I don't always agree, I recognize the rights of people to express their views. So they're constantly, some are constantly calling Trump a dictator, a fascist, and blah, blah, blah. But what does he actually say? Peaceful protests are a hallmark of our democracy. Even if I don't always agree, I recognize the rights of people to express their views. And about the controversy over how many people attended his inauguration, he tweets yesterday, wow, television ratings just out. 31 million people watched the inauguration. 11 million more than the very good ratings from 4 years ago. So at least, apparently, as far as how many watched the inauguration, there's a lot of people that did, a lot more than usual. I myself watched, I live streamed C-SPAN, because I thought C-SPAN, well, they would not be butting in with all kinds of comments about it. You could just watch the inauguration and see for yourself, kind of like just reading the tweets and seeing for yourself. But something was noticed by me in the inauguration. There was a point there where about 10 military officers walked up and stood behind Trump, and then they marched away. And that it happened. I think it happened more than once, and I don't know what was going on with that. World Socialist website I'm not a socialist, but I try and read and watch a lot of different sources. They reported on this today, calling it a strange and disturbing sequence. 10 military officers walked up, stood behind the president. I don't know what it means. I guess you could say that there was some kind of subtle message of protection, that they stand behind the new president and trying to safeguard the transition of power. Well, I guess the other news is I've been working on a book for the past few months, and finally yesterday it went to the publisher. So now I hope I'll have a little more time to be doing these webcasts, and it's part, I would like to think, not just my webcasts, but there's other people doing various webcasts, that it's a part of a national conversation, that the big mass media, they all seem to focus on certain themes, like the mighty Wurlitzer concept, which I don't have time to explain what that means, but it's like they dictate, this shall be what we discuss. And there's people that they react against whatever the latest mighty Wurlitzer mass media theme is, and in a way that's good, but in a way they're actually taking part in what the mighty Wurlitzer has decided is to be the national conversation. But you can also find the beginnings of an alternative national conversation in various YouTube webcasts. I recommend at this point Greg Hunter's USA Watchdog and Lionel Nation of Lionel Media. You can find both those people on YouTube, and they're more on top of things than I am. When I get a spare moment, I'll do a video, and I hope now the book has finally gone to press that I can find a little more time. But I try and keep these things short. So first week of Trump should be interesting. One thing you can definitely say is that Trump will be livening things up.